How are you, bro?
I've been asked that a lot in the last couple of months.
Really?
Yeah, I'm good.
When people ask you,
Yeah.
what do you think they're trying to get at? Are you not looking good? Are you like...
Maybe I'm looking a little older. Yeah,
happening?
maybe I've aged. I don't know. An industry, 20-year career in this industry probably does that to you. I think it's more a case of me coming back. They're like, are you all right? Like, do you know what the industry's like now? Do you know how much it's changed?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get asked that a lot, but it's all good. It's done in the right way. And I am good. I'm really good, Marv. Really
I'm
good.
going to take you through some pictures. The first one is, who is Billy? Which
Right.
is something that...
Okay. Who's Billy Wood? Right.
Yeah.
So Billy Wood was born in the 80s. Yeah, I am older than I look.
Where were you?
Croydon. So I was born in
Okay.
Croydon. So people always ask where I'm from, right?
Yeah.
It's a big one for me because in the industry, I've always lived outside of London, even since I started in the industry. So I was born in Croydon in the 80s. I'm from a place called New Adderton, which is,
It's got a good hiking trail down there.
Yeah, it has. It can be rough and ready when you need to be rough and ready. I grew up there in my early years, my most formative years of my life, really, because I look at that time period. I was there till I turned 10, and all my family from there, like my both sides of my family, all live in that area of Croydon as well. Some moved out to Beckenham and Bromley and Biggin Hill and all stuff like that. But we all came from that area. And I think culturally is the reason why I am who I am today, was from my upbringing. Now, when I was 10, my mum moved us down to the coast. So we actually turned that, I do live like to be beside the seaside song into reality. And I live country. I remember we moved down and it was not easy.
What was why did you have to move? What was going on?
Yeah, so like my mum and dad weren't together from a very young age of me, right? So my sister's 4 years younger than me, and they had a very rocky relationship. And my mum just wanted to go, like rightly or wrongly. She just one day we packed and went, like, literally overnight. We were living in Queen Elizabeth's Drive in New Adderton one night, and like it gives you an idea, Marv. Like in those 10 years, I probably lived in 8 houses.
Wow.
We moved a lot, right?
Yeah.
My mum, I say to my mum must be a traveller or something, because she just doesn't like to stay still. And well, she did afterwards, but in those years we lived in probably about 7 or 8 places. And we just moved into this place and we were not there for long, I think 6 months. And she had a friend in Hastings, like one of her best mates. And I turned around to my mum one day and went, let's go. Like I said it as a 9-10-year-old, right? I was a very mature young lad, and she did. And then one morning we were gone. We were in Hastings.
Do you feel like she needed your permission from a sense of like she didn't want to disrupt what your life was like, and she needed you to be like, let's go, as a catalyst to going?
Maybe, because like it's really, really weird. I seem to have this distinct memory of life, right? Everything I can remember my life from the age of 4 upwards. I can remember every single day. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if this is a superpower, but I don't forget things or forget people. I'm terrible with faces at times, especially when you're an industry mixer and you know the name, they know you know them, but I'm terrible with faces. But I have a vivid memory of my life, and I think what it was, I don't think she needed my approval. My mum's a very strong woman and she does what she wants, right? Even now, she'll do what she wants. But I think it was one of those things of, I could see she wanted to go. Look, I was 9. Like, I had no right. I've got a 10-year-old. One of my daughters is 10 now, and I look at it and go, she wouldn't be able to tell me really what. Yeah. She wouldn't really understand it, but I think I had a little bit of a
What would you
sixth
say
sense.
the difference is between you at 10 and your daughter at 10 then?
Now, I saw a lot at 10. My daughter is very shielded. Like she's been all 3 of my daughters, shall I say, have been very fortunate of probably the career. They've had hard times, like, because it's not been like, you know, I'm not with the mothers of my children. So they've had hard times, but I think they've been shielded a bit more because they've had a lifestyle where they've travelled to like LA, like Portugal, Spain, like they travelled the world. When I got on a plane for the first time, at 15 to Magaluf, right? And it wasn't even a lads' holiday. It was with my family, and it was like the best thing ever. Like, oh my God, I'm going to Spain. But so I think it's just we had different lives. And when we moved to Hastings, and then this is the hardest thing for me because a lot of people go, where are you from? And I say Hastings. Like, don't get me wrong, culturally and what I feel and what I grew into my career has to be based in what I grew up in South London, has to be. There's no other way, because people in Hastings aren't like me, like musically. They're not.
And what did Hastings teach you?
Hastings taught me, it gave me a lot of confidence in myself. You can imagine a young London lad going down to the coast. It's a bit of a slower lifestyle. It taught me, we still had hard times. It weren't suddenly we had money or anything. We still were poor. Like we're a poor family. I say poor. There were times when we weren't, but we were relatively working class, council estate. We lived in a council estate, and did all my upbringing. I think it taught me real friendship. Like I met some friends that, no matter this journey I've had in both music and football, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, later, they're still my friends to this day. So I met them when I was like 10, 11, and we still, like, we have our WhatsApp group chat with our like fantasy league stuff. Like that taught me friendship, and it taught me humility. Like I was humble. I got to know a lot of people in a town that's quite slower paced. It's changed over the years, but it's a lot slower paced. And it made me, I guess, as arrogant as this sounds, it made me a bit of a leader, because I went there with a bit of a better life understanding than many. And I used that to my advantage, really, to be able to adjust in social circumstances, social circles. And yeah, I learned what I wanted. I learned that I don't want, and it sounds like materialistic, but I don't want to be poor. That was the biggest thing I learned, because I was like, no, I want to go to uni. I want to be a lawyer. Like, I didn't end up being a lawyer, as we know. But I just learned that I had something about my kind of makeup as a human. Like I did a paper round at the age of 13. I took extra paper rounds on. I did it 7 days a week, not just like every morning. I was out at 6 a.m. Doing that. I had another job. I got a job at 15. I worked in the local sports shop, All Sports, which then now is JD. Like I always had work, and I worked to help my mum. Like I had a stepdad, but he's still around now, and you know he's gone through a bit of a transformation in life as well. Like he wasn't the nicest when we were kids. Not to me. He never done anything to me, but you know, didn't live a great life. He turned that round as soon as the grandkids came, and you know he's doing that. I'm very proud of him and how he's done that. And but I had to help a lot. You know, my mum's savings came that she saved for me all the way up to my, I think, 16th birthday, 17th birthday, whatever. And I spent it on a washing machine.
Wow.
Because it was for the family, right? And that has always been my thing, look after my family. So to look after my family, I need money. To get money, I need a good job. To get a good job, I need hustle. And that's just always been me.
Yeah. Who are these people in this? What does this mean? Sorry.
Oh, right. Can it be Christchurch? Yeah. University days.
Talk to me about that time.
So I went to uni. Like I always said, I was first ever.
So you partly did it. You didn't become a lawyer, but you did the university part.
Yeah, that place is why I'm here today.
Okay, tell me more.
So there's so many fun stories, right? So I went to university in 2004. This is luck, by the way. Everything's luck in life. So I went to college, and I needed certain grades to get into Canterbury Christchurch. And I'll turn up on like exams day, like results day, sorry. Oh man, I was scared. My mum was expecting like A's, like telling everyone her son's going to uni, the first of the family, blah, blah, blah. And I pull my results out, and I ain't got the grades to get in. And I was like, oh, I needed 2, sounds terrible. I needed 2 C's. Like that's what I just partied at uni, or I went to like go and watch DMX in concert at Stratford Rex. And like, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing at college. I was out just partying. And, so I'm like, oh my God. So I called the university up, and I'm like stressing. But they said, because of your accumulation of points for the 3 Ds, it equates to 2 Cs. So I snuck in the back door.
Yes.
And then I went to Canterbury, where I lived for 3 years. I actually went with some people that I work with.
Did your mum know that you got the 3Ds and you just
I never told her.
You didn't
she didn't even know to this day. No.
Okay.
She didn't know now, but
Hi,
she
Mum.
never knew.
Hi,
Yeah,
Mum.
she never knew to this day. But I got in, and I lived there, and got got grants because of the situation.
Yeah.
And it was where I grew as a person. My love of football, I always loved football. Football's always been big to me, but I got in the football team. I ended up being the secretary of the uni football team. Like it was a bit much, but I did it because I wanted to be involved. I was playing as well. I was captain of the uni team, and but that's where I think I understood my love for the music industry without realizing it. So there's a guy who I credit, and he doesn't get enough credit, and he's in the industry. He's actually in the industry now. He's an agent. And people probably don't know our relationship, but he was the entertainment manager of the Students' Union.
Oh wow!
So he did all the bookings for like the Friday nights and the NUS nights and stuff like that, and the student balls and what have you. So like he would book. He's a massive pop fan, so he's a massive Backstreet Boys fan. This guy. Name's Matt Winter. He runs Fireproof Talent. So he looks after a lot of the kind of the noughties acts like A1 and stuff like that now, and he does great. But he was the entertainment manager, and he put me into like a reality thing called "I'm a Student, Get Me Out of Here," right? Which they put us into a room, and in this room we lived for 2 weeks, did tasks and like evictions and stuff, and I actually came second in it. I came runner up to my love interest at the time as well. Right? Yeah, it was one of those stories, Marv.
Where is she now?
I know her. I know her.
Still?
Yeah, I know her. We don't like she. Like we it was a uni thing, but she's a great girl, and like she's I've seen her kind of in her life kind of grow. It's quite nice to see.
Yeah.
But we did that. She won. I didn't. Good luck to me. But from that, I wanted to start DJing at the uni, right? So I wanted to do stuff because I just wanted to do more around music. So Matt would let me have slots, but he would also DJ away from uni. And what he did, he had his own like DJ party business. So I would go with the gigs to him. Like we would travel in his little Vauxhall Tigra with the big speakers, like all the old school equipment, like CDs, racks of CDs, and then he would send me on like. So no one knows this. The reason I am where I am, like I'll be sent on like DJ gigs to like 7-year-old birthdays, and he'd give me a rack of CDs, and they'll all be nothing I like. It'd be all pop, cheesy, Britney stuff and stuff like that. Well, I don't mind Britney, like I don't mind pop, but it wasn't for me at the time. And I get these 7-year-olds telling me how crap I am, right? So that's how that's how I kind of like got introduced in the entertainment industry, and then from that. There's elections every year at the uni, right? So every year they do elections for like places, like roles at Students' Union, and there was the entertainment officer role. So I went up against 2 other people for that role. So you have to do full elections. You have to go out and try and get people to vote for you and like get everyone like on board, right? So it was me, a girl called Sophie Wood, so both the same last name, and the third person was. Very, very, very famous comedian now on ITV, Sky a lot, touring, called Rob Beckett.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay.
Rob. So Rob was the third one in that, right? Yeah. And I wiped the floor with him, Mark. And look where I am now. Look where he is, right? So maybe
When was the last time you saw him?
Last time I saw him, he came to when I was at. We'll obviously talk about when I was at WME and stuff, but he came and saw me before he blew up as a comedian and showed me his stuff and what have you. So he came into WME. That's the last time I've seen him. I've still like have his number and what have you, and like he's flying and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I won that election, become the ENTS officer, and from that, like, what do you do, Matt? Like, he booked Akon, he booked Akon for a summer ball, who pulled out, by the way, but he booked him anyway. Funny enough, I then must be 15 years later represented Akon, which is a bit of a weird story, but he booked Akon, then couldn't, but then he pulled out, needed to get another act in, and everyone was like, oh, he's like, what am I gonna do? I was like, what do you mean? I don't get what you do. Like, I didn't want to be a music agent. I didn't know what a music agent was. The truth is, I actually wanted to be a football agent.
Okay.
Like that was kind of where I wanted to go. And I kind of thought I did my business studies and marketing degree there. Again, I didn't turn up to many of the things. I actually got a 2-1. I don't know how. I think it's a misprint. I think it has to be a misprint because I never went to one of my subjects for a whole year.
Really?
So I turned up to the exam.
So if any lecturers are watching right now,
yeah.
How much did you pay them?
I used to this is what I did. I bribed. I shouldn't say this on camera, but I did. I bribed the attendance ladies. I used to bring them flowers just so they like smudged it a little just to keep me above that attendance line, right? I used to go, oh God, yeah, I've been a bit poorly, you know. Here's some roses, Margaret.
Where did that part of your character come from?
I grew up with women. I've always grown up with women, right? With my nan, my mum, my sister. My mum having all her mother's meetings, all the girls round and stuff. So I just grew up with women, right? You know, I'll say I just think that kind of talking to women, being able to talk to women, like not necessarily just in a kind of a flirty way, but being able to be confident in yourself and hold yourself. And I've always been a little bit of a joker, and I think that's probably helped and hindered me.
Yeah.
But it massively helped in those days because you could get out of bad situations all the time.
Yeah.
And with that, like with regards to uni, I was with Matt, and again, I'm going to credit Matt a lot because he really took me under his wing, and he was about at that time starting to work for N-Dubz Wiley in Sanity, right?
I remember Andy. He used to constantly send around the emails around like S Club 7, Bradley, and that's his early times.
So he was like Insanity with a juggernaut now, but at the time we were a booking agency, and he put me in touch with a guy called Andy Pountain who runs Industry Live now. Used to be Create Music, and I was chatting away to him, and he set me up. He said, "Look, I'll give you an email address. We'll split commission. See how you get on. I'll help you along the way." And look, Andy was based in Stoke at the time, so he was on the phone, but he couldn't really help mold me into an agent because he weren't next to me, right? Matt then decided to join me and Andy. We badgered him, and he came, and that was me, Matt, Andy. That was kind of the company at the time.
I didn't know that. Okay,
cool. And that was us.
That's a bit of a dynasty, though.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's like people just think I just kind of appeared, and it wasn't. It was a long struggle. So like finding acts, I was on MySpace constantly trying to find acts. My first actual booking was nothing to do with what I become known for. I actually booked the Strictly Come Dancing dancer, Brendan Coyle, to some private for £5,000. I made 500 quid commission. Wow. I thought, wow, like I'm loaded.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm buying the drinks this weekend, lads. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I started. And then I was at uni. I was still in my third year at uni while I was doing this. I had my little Vauxhall Corsa sitting out on the drive with its Lexus lights and busted door where someone's tried to nick my speakers. Sitting out there, and I was sitting in my room, and I got myself a bit of a luxury. I used to work. I used to hustle at uni in the sense I did some of the club nights, but I also would get like jobs for like whiskey companies and go around the supermarkets and check and what have you, that the stock was right and you know, all that sort of thing. And so I had a bit of money. And I kind of was like, right, I want Sky Sports TV in my bedroom, right? So I had Sky in my room. So all my roommates, all my roommates were in my room all the time, just watching telly, whether it was, I don't know, Prison Break to the OC to whatever at the time. They were in my room. Like literally my room was the common room. We didn't have my room was like, to the point, like, thank God the adult channels were like restricted because I probably would have had some all sorts going on in my room, right? But I was sitting there at my computer, and in the background, this song was playing on Channel U. Like Channel U was always on for me, and I turned like literally. I remember it. I'm sitting there like this. Like I think I'm playing Football Manager. Like genuinely, I'm playing Football Manager. I was AFC Wimbledon trying to get them up the league.
The greatest game ever.
I was sitting there playing Football Manager, and I turned to my left, and I look, and I watch, and I'm like, okay. And you have to wait for the names to come up at the end. There's like there's no like fast forwarding. There's no Shazamming. This is 2006.
Yeah.
So I see it and I wait to the end. I'm like, this act has something. They've got something I've never really seen. And I found it. Went onto MySpace. Found them on MySpace. Sent them a message. Complete blag. I'd love to be your agent. Da 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 da.
Wow.
Like, I'll be able to bring you shows. Like, I'd love to have a conversation. What have you? Didn't really know what I was doing. Got a message back, and that was Byron, Dappy's dad. So it was N-Dubz.
Wow.
And that's why, like, when you talk about uni, at uni I signed N-Dubz.
Wow.
At uni I started my career. So when I finished, I just rolled straight. I didn't even think about other jobs. I just rolled straight into it.
Yeah. What did they think you were versus what did they find out you were? What was the gap?
So I played like I was older for years in this industry, by the way, because I started at 19. Like, what agent at 19 really, like, you ain't even got any life skills at that point, have you? Like, we were still making a million mistakes. You don't really know your ass from your elbow. But I think I made out that I had a good connections in the nightclubs because there was PA. It was different. What people don't, people don't understand. Like, what you're seeing with like Dave now and Stormzy, you know, and D Block Europe. What you're seeing is, and I get annoyed by this a little bit because I think people forget what we had to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Like the PAs, like performing at Oceana nightclubs,
Liquid and Luminous.
Liquids, all those places. And we had to. That's how you used to break. We weren't getting radio play.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, how are these artists making money? So they relied on people like me, and other agents in that space. But I was kind of the first one, and I think it gets forgotten. I probably was the first one who really championed UK like urban music. Like, I was the one who was signing the Tinies before on Wifey Rhythm Times. I'm the one who was Lethal B. Like, I worked with them all.
So where did your passion for black music come from then? Because you spoke earlier about DMX.
Yeah.
Croydon, Hastings, DMX.
Yeah.
Where does that...
So hip hop has been massive for me, like all my growing up.
Who introduced you to it?
I think I introduced myself to it. So my mum was into R&B, right? So I listened to all the R&B, all the 90s R&B, so like even 80s, like Bobby Brown, and that's where my first music influences comes from, like Whitney, Bobby, you know, like then it got into like the 112s and like Jagged Edges, and I always like the formulation of bands, which is quite interesting because of the N-Dubz thing, right? But as I started getting older, obviously, then you know, so stereotypical as a white guy from like a little suburb, you hear the Tupac story, then you want to know more. And I have this thing, Marv, with me, if I get interested in something, I need to know everything about it. Like, even if I'm signing an act, I go down like a rabbit's hole. I have to see and hear everything and feel everything to know I can do it. I have to.
That makes sense.
So like little things, like I get caught up in, like, I was like, oh wow, like Netflix overtaking Blockbuster. What a mad story that was. I lived that, but I can't remember it clearly. I want to go in the rabbit's hole, and I watched everything on it. Just my character. And that's the way I'm wired. So back in those days with like hip hop and stuff, it started with Tupac, then Death Row, then you get caught up in a Death Row story, and it's not what you're living in Hastings. So you kind of get excited by it. But then the musical stuff come through, the R&B stuff, and then linking it into hip hop. Then I brought my Wu-Tang album and stuff. But like, you know, my first influence was like Ultimate Chaos.
Wow.
Like that do you know what I mean? Like
legendary.
That. Yeah, you know, but how many people bought that CD? Like, a lot, but they didn't get the success that they probably deserved back then. And I look at some of my acts, and we'll talk about the acts later, I'm sure. But if you look at some of the acts I end up signing, and you look at the acts that I used to listen to or kind of come up through, they all kind of match in a weird way. It's like, it's weird, like, the kind of weird symmetry of my kind of passion for music to what I actually created a career in. But yeah, I would say like the hip hop stuff came through that. So like listening to like DMX, then you kind of go a little bit more pop in like the kind of space of like Nelly and stuff like that, Ja Rule, and you know, then 50 breaks onto the scene. So like I kind of just built this kind of feeling of it, and you know, don't know if you can say his name much now, but you know, even like Puffy and stuff like that, the music at the time, I don't know, I just felt it more. Like I love dancing in nightclubs. Like that was what I liked to dance to. I like to go, like if I was going to a club with bigger rooms, you had the rock room, pop room, and hip hop room. You might have a bunch of my mates listening to Kasabian, but there's me. I want to get like rowdy on a dance floor to pow. Like I want to bump into people and have it off. Do you know what I mean? But like I think that was just me, and it's just the way I grew up, and I've always been really well accepted by black culture.
Yeah. Tell me about these people.
My family. So
who we got here?
That's me in the middle.
Yeah.
My mum to the side of me. My stepdad to the other side of me. My sister is obviously next to my mum at the top. Then the tallest girl is Darcy. She's now 14. She'll be 15 this year. She's my eldest daughter. My nephew Max, who is just a year younger than Darcy. Then the one in the middle in the champion shirt is my 10-year-old daughter Bertie. And then there's Mila, my niece, and then I've got a 2-year-old as well, Hallie, who, by the way, that's the reason I look tired today is because I was up at 5:30 with her this morning and dropping her to nursery, then rushing here, right? So what do they mean to me? Like,
because when you spoke about your family going back, it's not about being perfect, right? Families are all complicated and interesting, but you're still all together.
Yeah.
And this is kind of recent. So like, what do they mean to you now?
Guidance. You know, at times I've had to guide them. I've had times when they've had to guide me. You know, when you look at, I don't know, when you look at family, it's never perfect, and we've had falling outs over the years, massively. You know, when you're just got one sibling, you're gonna disagree on things, right? And we have, but at the same time, when my granddad died, my mum moved back to Croydon to help my nan in 2008, I believe it was. That's when she moved up there. My sister actually moved with her. She's married now. Like those kids, she's been with her husband since school, right? And they've been together ever since and got a great family and doing great for themselves now. But they moved to Worthing because that's where his dad lived, and she hated living there at the house there. So I moved over to Worthing. I didn't have no connection with Worthing, no friends, nothing. But I moved there to make sure that she lived in a house that she was more comfortable in. And I was only there a year, but I did it for that reason. So like with family, I'll do anything for my family, 100%. But at the same time, there's times I've let my family down too. Yeah. Like there's times where I've worked too hard, where I've missed things, or maybe let weeks pass quick. You know, I'm very fortunate that my two eldest girls, I see them, you know, nearly every day. I don't obviously live with any of my kids now, sadly. But again, families aren't perfect. But what I try to push is, even though I used to be driven by financial success, I think, I'll be honest, like I think when we all start, we all want the bag. Do you know what I mean? I think we all do. I think now I'm driven by, the money will come. I'm driven by moments. I'm driven by giving them moments and giving myself moments. But that all comes from the upbringing I had. My mum was very much like you've got to succeed, you know, because she didn't. You know, she now has a great career, and she only kicked into life really in a working capacity in her late 30s, right? She's not embarrassed by that. She's worked hard. She works really hard now.
That's really good.
But that's why, for me, that's family. Oh, God. Shaved head. That person was reckless. Learning who he was. I can
feel the discomfort in.
Nah, not even discomfort. Do you know what? Look, I've still got the quiff, nearly. My hair's thinning. And especially under these lights, I'm sure it is definitely looking thin. But like, so that person there is someone who was breaking into music. So I was at the time. I was trying to, at times, act older than he was because I was so young. Like I joined WME when I was 24, the youngest ever agent in 100 years, I think it was, at William Morris at that time. It might have been beaten now, but 24 is quite young, right?
But why you though? Why did they choose you? That's a headline.
Yeah. Why? Again, I think it's a bit of luck, right? So N-Dubz, we have success with N-Dubz. Like Dappy says it on a lyric. I did 280 shows last year, right? I booked 280 shows for N-Dubz.
I remember that lyric.
Yeah. And it was big for me because when if you're any artist and you listen to that lyric and you check who the agent is and you see my name there, boom, you probably are gonna hit me up, or when I hit you up, you're gonna listen, right?
Did you know he was gonna say it? Did you hear it before?
No. I heard it. It was N-Dubz versus NAA, right? The big nasty kind of clash track, and it was all true. They did 280 shows, but I lost them. I lost N-Dubz because I didn't understand the transition from club to live to festivals. I had no real history behind me. And I lost the act.
Tell me more. How did you lose it? What's the process of losing someone when you got them 280 shows?
So they were managed by Jonathan Shellett and Rich Castillo at the time, right? Yeah. Rich is a good friend of mine, but I still hate how it happened. Effectively, it was lined up like everything in the music industry. Everything's lined up behind your back, isn't it? Like it's just like players moving from club to club. You might explore a conversation. So Gary's obviously made a play for it, or someone's put Gary Howard. Who's at UTA now, doing incredibly well.
Where was he at the time?
A company called Martial Arts.
Okay.
Martial Arts, and Rich calls me. I don't know if Rich is gonna like me telling this story, but Rich calls me up and goes, "I want you to go and meet this guy called Gary Howard, and like bring him on. We're going to bring him on board to like help with the live and the transition to that. You'll still be involved, rah rah rah." I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Like, you go and have the meeting, see what you feel." I was like, I'm thinking I'm all right. Like, I just booked like naively. 300 shows I've booked for this act since. Yeah. Like, Dappy's dad put me in charge.
Yeah.
Like, R.I.P. Uncle B, but like he put me in charge. So there's an emotional connection. Everyone knew me as like, even locally in my area, as the N-Dubz boy, right? Stupid as it sounds, but that was my act. And obviously this is just after I went to the Uncle B video shoot. Didn't even think nothing of it. Have this meeting, and I go in, and Gary might remember it differently, but I 100% remember it clearly because it was the biggest spur on in my career, and I don't think I've ever told him this how it was, but I went in there and he sat me down and told me he was the N-Dubz agent now, right? And
so you were briefed to go in to meet him as about collaborating.
Yeah.
You got there and you were met with the information that he's the agent now, and you were what?
And I will still do the club shows.
Okay.
But everything had to be approved by him, so to not clash with live, right? Okay. I was like, all right.
But how did that feel in that moment? What's going
Horrible.
through your head?
I wanted to punch him. Like, I must have been, I was 20. So I was young. I was angry. I was annoyed. I was hurt.
Who was you angry at the most? Because there's a lot of people involved in that happening. Who was the number one person in your head that was like you?
I was angry at Rich. Like, by the way, me and Rich do a lot now, and like we've got a great relationship, and we have always had a great relationship. I was angry at the moment at Rich. As I grew older, I understood why. You have to protect your biggest asset, and N-Dubz was a big asset. So they had to do what they felt was right at the time. But I had such a good relationship with the band, like they were like my family. They were like my family, genuinely. Like on the road, they had a tour manager that was quite close to Gary though. So like, do you know when you like start
piecing together?
Yeah. You've been fucked, right? I don't know if I can say that. I'm sure I can. Yeah. You feel like you've been fucked there, and it hurt massively. Like, because I genuinely felt it was like at that point, if you got like a, one of those cattle, like what are they called? Like when you like cattle, when they brand people. If someone like, I could have been branded N-Dubz and it would have been what it is. I had other acts.
Who was there to support you? Who did you go to and talk to about it?
No one. I was on my own. At that point, I left Create because I was like, hold on a minute, I'm giving you all this commission, but I'm doing this all myself. So like naively, I went on my own, set my own little kind of thing up, and I was just operating literally on my own, like no accountant, nothing. Obviously, I had accountants to do my accounts and stuff, but I was literally on my own, and no one, and I still was booking Tinie. I was still booking like Tinie and like Chipmunk and people like that, but that was the catalyst because then N-Dubz done it. Then like, I was working with Bath and Vash on Chip. Then Chip goes to Coda, right, to Alex Hardy.
I remember Coda, yeah.
So like everyone starts picking at this industry, like I say, into this genre that I genuinely was the only one who gave a fuck, and I knew it. I knew I was the only one because no, actually that's a lie. Sarah from Extreme Talent.
Yes,
I'm not
Sarah from Extreme Talent.
I'm not gonna.
Yes.
I can't take that credit.
Yes.
I can't because, with all due respect.
Did you ever work with her?
So when I became N-Dubz agent, she was fuming, right? Because she did a lot of bookings. But that kind of went away, and Sarah would send me gigs for N-Dubz over the years, and other acts, and loads of other acts, and all the way through WME, all those other companies, she would always send me bookings for clients, and she never held any ill will. She'd put a little 10% on top, and we'll work, right? But at the time, she was fuming. I was like, how you can't? Like, I remember like we can laugh about it now. It's like 20 years ago. How can you do this? They don't even know who you are. I'm like, well, they do. And Uncle B's kind of gave me that. And he was like stressed about it. I remember like the last call I had with Byron, right? He's like, oh, Bill, like, can you deal with this? Like, it's stressful. And it was dealing with that situation and a few other bits. And that was the last conversation I had with him. And I don't think it was related to the stress of that. I just think it's the stress of life. And I always feel our time is our time. You know, I think that's just the way the world works. But yeah, like going back to like pioneers of agent side of this. Obviously, we didn't make the music. Like we didn't, create the acts. We did what we did. And yeah, Sarah has to get a shout out 100% because she was big in that. But I did feel like a little bit disrespected. There was a time, by the way, it hurt me so much, I nearly went and took a job in insurance.
Really?
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I was sitting at home and I was just like, well, if I'm going to lose N-Dubz, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, why have I done this?
What in reflection, you said Chip, Tinie, was it Tinie as well? Was it Chip?
Tinie.
Chip moved on and N-Dubz moved on.
Yeah.
What do you actually put that to? What was happening?
Just weren't good. I just weren't ready. I weren't ready. It's as simple as I never like the relation. I represented all those acts again, like Chip,
so it wasn't personal.
Dappy, Phaser, like all of them. Anyone that went out the door came back at some point, and it was never personal, ever personal. It felt personal, but I don't think it was. I think it was more, yeah, like this guy's done. I don't know, like Alex Hardy's like he's got 10, 15 years on me, right? Probably more, in the sense of like career-wise. And it got to a point where I just was like, oh, okay, it's what it is. Like, I'm going to go and work in insurance. So I went and handed my CV into a company. I drove there, drove back, never got an interview. Thankfully, never got an interview because that could have been a massive change in my life. I wouldn't be sitting here, Marv, and I might be, I don't know.
In insurance.
Oh. Shout out all the insurance companies out there, right?
Who are these people?
That's my WME days. So that year I was in LA. That's in LA. That was at a fundraiser for the late Peter Grosslight, who that sparks me into talking about how I ended up at WME because I think it feeds onto the losing acts situation quite well. So I went to Mission Control before this moment. Right? I went to Mission Control to work for, he still is my mentor, Albert Samuel. And Craig D'Souza was there as well. He was kind of the main agent. Gary Howard was at Mission Control, left, went to martial arts. And I met with Mission and they really wanted me to be an agent there. And I resisted for so long. And I was like, yeah, go on, I'll do it. I'll just do it. I'll join the Mission Control team. And it was the greatest thing I did at that point because it gave me a little family. I went there long because things went crazy quick. But I signed Scorcher, Wretch. I left Wretch behind. I had to choose between Scorcher and Wretch, and I chose Scorcher. No disrespect to Wretch, got all the time in the world with Wretch. But
how do you feel about that now?
Fine. I work with Scorcher now. I'm happy. Come on, Mobo's coming up.
Yeah.
Up for grime and best grime act again.
He's had an incredible 3 years or so,
and he deserves it. So I signed a bunch of acts. And this is what I mean about the genre, like Marvel. Jealous. No one remembers Jealous, right?
Yeah.
Danny Joshi, who was his manager, and him and Jealous and Danny have an unbelievable production company now called Big Deal Films, and they just produce Dreaming Whilst Black for BBC, loads of other stuff as well. They're flying, and they're kind of my foundation people. Signed all those sort of acts. Started working with So Solid for the first time then. Oxa, Neutrino, you name it. Like my roster was.
Who was the biggest at the time?
For me?
Yeah.
At the Mission days. Well, Tinie just signed to EMI. Was it EMI?
I think it was.
Parlophone, sorry.
Parlophone,
yeah,
yes,
Parlophone.
Yes.
We signed to Parlophone, right? And he was making records, and we had this, I was putting him out for PAs, and we had a song called Biker Babes, which...
I remember.
Yeah, yeah. I think even T will look at that now and be like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure he doesn't perform it.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard it since 2009. Yeah. And then Nathan, the A&R there, and obviously Dummy, The way I signed T originally, I met with Dummy in Canary Wharf in a Starbucks, like a random Starbucks on the outlet. It wasn't even in a Starbucks. It was like a table
outside.
And he went, "Oh yeah, listen to this. This is what did he say to me? He was like, "Oh yeah, it was Hood Economics. It was the thing I was trying, but it was a teaser. So it wasn't even that album. He didn't even trust me with the full album. He gave me teaser. So I had like 40 seconds of each song, and I would play it in my car and literally like non-stop. And I had a real affinity to T, and like, you know, and to the whole team there. And again, like I've kind of found little families everywhere I've gone. So Disturbing London was like a little family for me as well. And so T was kind of coming up. Then we had Pass Out. And I'll never forget around Christmas time. So we're breaking up for Christmas. And Zayn plays it. It's the hottest record in the world. This is 2009. I'm driving home.
I remember this.
Driving home in my Vauxhall Astra at the time. And I'm like, oh, wow, what does this mean? But then I had this fear. What happened to N-Dubz? What happened to Chipmunk? This fear just kind of sat on me like, I'm gonna lose them. I'm gonna lose this one too. And I've made sure I tried to not, right, so Glastonbury booked, Wireless booked, offers from promoters for tours in. Like, and Craig helped a little bit. Like, Craig was a bit more senior to me. He helped, and Albert helped. But, I was Tinie's agent. No one else was. And I was starting to get things in place. Offers were coming in like $5,000. I was getting $5,000 a show. I'm thinking, wow, like, this is like N-Dubz when we were getting 1,500, $2,000, right? That was it. When we were blowing up, like T was getting fives and sixes, and then eights, and it's like, hold on a minute, like when you start working out the 10%, you're thinking, you know, especially me at the time, I was on like 21 grand or something at Mission Control. I was on nothing really, but then we would get phone calls from other agencies, like Alex Hardy wanted to chat to me, like I say, Dummy was so loyal to me, so loyal, and so was like Tinie. And like, okay, Bill, these people want Tinie. Like, can you speak to them? Because like, for me to go there, sort of thing. And it got to a point where he called me up, and William Morris were really interested in him, right? WME, Obi again, Obi Asaka, who's been a massive. He was a huge influence on me in the 4 years he was at WME with me before he went on and set up Echolocation. He was interested, and he did Pendulum, Chasing Status, and a bunch of other acts. And, you know, he imposing figure, hugely tall. So me and him, like, picture me and him at the Brits is hilarious. Like, it's me, like, 5 foot nothing Billy Wood. Well, I'm a bit taller than that in real life, but, you know, and this 7 foot monster of a man. But we were a duo, and but I didn't know him. And then Dummy's told me about WME interest, and I think we're gonna go. And we were on a tour at the time. It was called the Brat Pack tour. Do you remember it? With it was Chip, Skepta. I think Miss Brat was on there as well, and a couple of others.
I think I went to it. I went to a couple of dates with my friend Twid, so we went to a couple of dates.
Yeah, so I'm driving. So I'm driving up to Birmingham, and I'm like, "You can't believe you're doing this to me. I've done everything. I'm going mad."
Who are you talking to?
Dummy.
Yeah.
Not never the artist. I'm going absolutely mad. And I had Tinie on the N-Dubz tour as well, and Gary was trying to get him. Like, everyone was trying it, right? Even when I went on that N-Dubz tour, like, I went to a Margate show, and Dappy comes up to me like, "Dappy, there was a problem with N-Dubz. I'm not going to go into it now. It was in the papers at the time. He goes, what am I going to do, Bill? Like, he's coming to me, like, because of
the relationship,
our friendship.
Yeah,
and it's just always the way I've been with my clients. Like, I really have always been artist first. And then I went to this thing. I saw T, and he was so like, "I'm sorry," like, you know. And then I was like, "I see, I've kind of lost him." Like, "No, we want you involved, still doing the PAs." I'm like, "Yeah, here we go, all again. I've had this before with N-Dubz. Well, now this ends." But then Obi calls me in, like, to meet him. So go into the WME office, centre point at the time. Wow, like I always wanted to be out. Like, you got like, notice everyone's read The Secret, right? The Secret, like, or have heard about The Secret, like the law of attraction. I remember hearing the name William Morris in High School Musical, either High School Musical 2 or High School Musical 3. I think my first wife's younger sister was watching it, and we were watching it with her. And I remember hearing that name, and it's always stuck with me, and it was always where I wanted to be. Like, I always wanted to be at that company. So I'm walking in, I go in, I sit with Obi, and he's like chatting away, and we're having, it's going really well. And he's like, "Would you want to work here?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, is that possible? Like, he's like, "Oh yeah, let me get Sam Thompson in." So Samantha Thompson, who was like, she kind of ran the London office at the time, chatting with her, and we're chatting away, and they're like, "Yeah, we really like you. You've obviously got great A&R here. Every year someone was blowing every year. It was crazy." So like, yeah, there's interest. Obviously, it's early. You're a young agent. Keep developing this relationship with Obi. That was like March. Me and Obi were developing this relationship, and I met with Mark Geiger, who's in that picture. He's the farthest, the guy furthest away from me, next to Michelle Bernstein. I met with Mark on a video call in the WME offices, like on a big screen. I'm in the room and he's talking to me and what have you. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, well, let's keep this conversation going." I'm pestering Sam, going like, "Am I gonna like, what's the crap?" "Yeah, we're interested. And I was there. Me and Obi built this great relationship, and we were emailing back and forth. And someone must have tipped Craig off at Mission Control, because I never forget it. I've sent an email, because me and Obi would talk music. So I've sent an Agro Santos track to Obi. "What do you think?" And he's emailed back saying, "Yeah, could we have it?" Meaning Agro Santos. And I'm like, and then I'll see, like, so how we worked, like, I sat like that, Craig sat like this, Josh Byron sat here, we had a couple of DJ agents here, and like, I'm looking at Craig and he's getting redder and redder and redder and redder and redder and redder and redder, and I'm like, I'm sitting there going, "Oh wow, what's going on here?" sort of thing. I'm like, "You all right, mate?" Like, trying to blow it off. I get this email, "Meet me in the boardroom now." Okay, so I meet him and Albert in the boardroom. He's like, fucking show me. He's like, "What is going on? You're trying to steal acts, take them to William Morris." I went, "No, I'm not." I was like, they were like, "What's going on? Are you staying?" Because at this time, I had loads of different offers, and I told them every time. I had loads of offers. So I was, Coda wanted to chat. A few others wanted to chat. But I never ever went money route with any of them. I just told Albert, "I'm just letting you know, I've had someone approach me for a chat." And I never went for these chats. I should have, but I was quite loyal to Albert and Craig. I never went to these chats. The only one I went to was WME because of Tinie.
Yeah.
They're talking to me like, "What's going on? Are you going to William Morris?" I was like, I don't really know. Well, actually, 3 hours before that, Sam said, "Right, we want to fly you to New York to meet Cara Lewis, the legendary hip hop agent, Cara Lewis. Want you to fly to New York for a day, like a 2-day turnaround, and then fly to LA to meet Ari Emanuel, Patrick Weissel, and then go and meet Mark Geiger and Peter Grosslight, who run music."
That's a huge group of people to meet. They're like
massive.
They're like the icons. So why was it not just like, "Yeah, come and join us"? That's straight to the top.
Straight to the top.
How did you feel about meeting them?
So I had to work out what I was going to do, because how can I have days off work at Mission Control in a different country? My phone's going to ring and it's going to have the wrong ringtone, right? So I'm called Danny up, Danny Joshi, who I mentioned earlier. I'm like, "Dan, what am I going to do?" And he's like, "Just turn your phone off." So, just turn your phone off. Like, say you're really ill, turn your phone off.
Yeah.
And I told a couple of people. I think I told Vash, because I was doing Scorcher with Vash at the time. I was like, "Look, I'm going over to America to meet these people." And I didn't tell him it was a secret or anything. I just told him. So I'm in this meeting and they go, "Look, what do you want to do?" And I don't know. "Well, we're going to put you on gardening leave. You give us a week's gardening leave. You have a think about what you want to do." Albert was really calm about it. Craig not so. But I get why. We were building. I think Mission Control was building somewhere. Yeah. And like, obviously he went off to primary and now he's at WME, right? The way the world works. But I went from there. I flew over to meet Cara. And obviously, legendary agent, Eminem, like everyone.
Yeah.
She's done it all, right? She
was probably the biggest at some point.
She's the hip hop agent. Still like Kanye, like all of them. She's done them all, right? How many like rap records have got her name in it? Do you know what I mean? Nickname paid in full. All these artists want to get paid, right? I learned Cara Lewis was like an inspiration. Even before meeting her, she was an inspiration to me. Like, to be like Cara Lewis was like, it's next level. So got to meet Cara. She was amazing. She, even to this day, if I call Cara, she'll pick up the phone. Like, to this day. I had something for M last year that I wanted to do. She picked up the phone to me and said, "Look, send it to me. It might be enough money, but
send it.
Yeah, send. But she still answered the call. Hey, how are you? It was fine. So I met her, flew to, and by the way, I was skint at the time, right? Yeah. So I flew it. They put me in these unbelievable hotels. But every time you go to these hotels, you have to put your card up. I didn't have a credit card. I had my debit card. And it was taking money off me every time. So they put me in the Montage, Beverly Hills, right?
Wow.
Like, this is the boy from Croydon who like sometimes, so poor that I was just eating tomato sauce and pasta in my teens, and I'm in the Montage, and get my card through and stuff, and I'll go to my bank to get I wanted to get $30 out, so I wanted to go to the beach. Like, if I had a bit of time, card declined. I've got no money. All my money's sitting on these things, right? So what am I gonna do? I've got nothing. I couldn't even buy a chomp bar. Like, I couldn't do anything. And I called Samantha Thompson up at WME, and they wire me £600. Like, so I'm like, look, I'm all tied up. Like, so no judgment. It was nice.
That's powerful.
And then I went and met Patrick YSL and talked about WME, the company, and this is what we do, and like that was great. It was like it'd be great to have you on board. Then I go and meet Mark Geiger, the guy in that picture, and Peter Grosslight, who that picture's from his fundraiser. He unfortunately did pass away of cancer. He's a legend in this industry. And sit down and telling me stories about Tupac being in the same office, because they knew about knew about me and what I liked. And they're saying, look, this is an opportunity for you really to go up a gear really early in your career, and this is what we want to do. Mark, never forget it, on paper I wrote 4 numbers, right? And he gave it to me. It was so LA. It was so like Entourage. That's how it felt. And he was like, that's what you make first year. That's what you make second year. That's what you make third year. That's what you make fourth year. I looked at these numbers and was like,
I feel like we need to know what these numbers are.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't mind. First year, 40K. I was on 21.
So doubling your money effectively.
Yeah, double my money, yeah. And then, so I went 21 to 40. Second year, 45. Year 3, 60. Last year, 75. So you can imagine, for me, I'm like, that's pretty damn good. Yeah. And they gave me great bonuses, by the way, every year. So big up WME. But I joined my real music family when I joined WME. And they're all scattered about now. But WME was and will always be my home. Always be my home in music, because I learnt so much from so many characters, from Solomon Parker, who's at, they've changed their name now to The Team, but he's at the Wesserman. Yeah. He's over at Souls there now. From Obi, characters like Peter Price, who was a big agent as well, a bit more of an old school agent, to the likes of even Russell Warby and people like that. I learned so much from those sort of people. It was crazy, but all the people that came up, all the assistants, Dave Bradley, who's just moved to CAA, looks after Dua Lipa, right? Everyone who came up, it was a hotbed of great people, and great music people, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. What did Wiley teach you?
What did I teach him? He took, people think he don't, now people start seeing the kind of the gems he drops. But Wiley was stressful. So I became Wiley's agent when I was at Mission Control. He called me up and went, I want you to be my agent. That's it. I'm sacking everyone. You're my agent now. I didn't ask to be his agent. He called me up. That was a privilege. It's Wiley, right? He's godfather of grime. Everyone was like, but he just cancelled shows. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's Wiley. How can I say no? Through Wiley, I get to meet, Target, become a good friend. And all these, met a lot of good friends, Danny Weed, Target, through this man. But what he taught me was patience. When we had the Zip Files thing, when he released all of his music, when he signed to All Around the World, and he's just laughing down the phone at me, right? And John Wall's pulling his hair out. I was just like, it's Wiley. You can't stop it. It's just what he is. Now, he obviously had his big problem, got cancelled in 2020, whatever. But he had really close moments before that. We went to Glastonbury. Never forget this. And I don't know if I do a good Wiley impression, but it's like, Bill, what's the weather like? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, if it ain't good, I ain't coming to Glastonbury. Like, you know what I mean? He's going mad at me about it. He's like saying, you know, I'm flying in, I'm living in Cyprus, it's nice. He just didn't want to do the show, right? Yeah. I know him so well. Yeah. But in that moment, he writes some craziness about Emily Evis and the farm and fuck you and your farm, and he's going crazy. So he's had these moments, right? Yeah. But I had to deal with all these moments. And I also had to deal with the times when he go, no, I'm retiring now. Oh, I'm too old for this. I'm 30. I remember, I'm 31, he went to me. I'm 31, I'm too old. This just before Heatwave. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm retiring. Then they call me up and go, I've got a hit. I need bookings. And I'm like, what? And then Heatwave comes out. It's massive. Then we have a nice ride with that. Then he starts getting funny again and not wanting to do things. And then he starts to I'm just grime now. But the problem with Wiley is, he can sit there and say he's just grime. And now I spoke to him recently and he's like, I'm just for the underground. Like, I'm done now. I'm too old. I'm nearly 50 or whatever. So you told me you're too old and you're 31, Will. But do you know what? He has the ability to make a hit out of nowhere. And there's a lot of people that I've worked with that are really, really talented and creative. And there's two that I put above everyone. Like, just because of, not what they've done for my career, but what I learned from them. And one of them's Wiley, 100%, because he can make a hit. He knows how to manipulate the market when he wants to manipulate the market. And I think people don't give him enough respect for that. He is the godfather of grime, but I'll tell you what, he's also a sorcerer of so many other different genres. And people got to put more respect on his name, in my opinion. And Dappy. I've never met anyone as talented as him. Ever.
So you look at his career now, what do you think why is he not bigger? Because I remember at the time in 2010, just before that, he was dubbed as one of the most talented, influential, versatile artists to ever come out of the UK, underground specifically. Why is he not bigger?
I think he's been his own problem. We've had, again, just like Wiley, I've had a lot of personal situations with Dappy, both good and bad. I think I'm still blocked on his Instagram, right? Doesn't mean that if you don't see me, if we see each other, it's big hugs and there's never any ill feeling with me and Daps. I think he just did it in rage one day because I think I didn't get my booking for a festival. Because artists do have a perception of themselves that others don't see. You do. We all have a perception of our own selves that I don't think artists see. And I think with Dappy, he's so musically talented. He can do anything. He can, from sing to rap, he can do grime, he can do pop, he can do rock. He can do anything he wants to do. And he can write an unbelievable hook. I just think patience is a big thing. I think sometimes his career's been like that. Everything's always been like that. N-Dubz, got to arenas, gone. Then we had No Regrets, built that up. Then we had an issue, dropped. Then certain people get in the mix of an artist. Like, when there's success, the one thing I say to any artist, even now, is be careful who's around you, right? Especially when there's smidgens of success, because a lot of people just want to take rather than give. And they might look like they're giving because they're around you, they're sitting in the studio with you, they're at home with you, they're probably smoking your weed, or they're, but really, you've got to be so careful, because they're the ones they're the energy vacuums. They're the ones who sit there, tell you how good you are. So then suddenly you think you're Tarzan, right? And no, you've got to remember where you're at and what we need to do to get to where we need to get to. And that is why Tinie Tempah's had the career he's had, both in music and out music. Because do you know what? Never in a million years, this is him, humble as anything. He would do his things, do whatever he's doing, understand what he wants, how he wants it to be better. Even when he got to the top, he wanted it to be better. When he decided to go and branch into other areas, he really focused and doubled down on it. Yeah. That's why he is a fashionista. That is why he can do the property stuff. That's why he can do the TV stuff. Dragon's Den. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because he probably has more awareness of who he is and isn't chasing or looking for things. And I think he's also good people around him. Whether it's Dummy or, even Charlesy, the DJ, good people, who are, going to tell you how it is. I I don't think it's always been the case with Wiley. I don't think it's always been the case with Dappy. I think Wiley now is the most switched on I've ever known him to be. When I see when he texts me and I text him back, it's on a level of I know what I've done, I know where I'm at. But yeah, like Tinie, when I launched the agency, didn't have to, sent me a message, well done. It doesn't have to do that. So yeah, big up Wiley. It's been fun. I could write a book on Wiley. And I love sitting with Target and Danny Weed, and we talk our Wiley stories. But yeah, he's been really important to my journey. Really important. And I don't want to underestimate that because it's been chaotic at times. Wiley got me Skepta at a time when I looked after Skepta, and which wasn't a long period. I think I looked after him for about 2 years. Around That's Not Me. But yeah, I just think all these acts, the Wileys, the Tinies, the Dappies, if it weren't for them, I don't think even with my belief and know-how I would be where I am now.
So tell me about this particular moment.
Proudest man in Hastings. Proudest man. So like,
I don't know why. By the way, when I saw this, I felt a sense of something, and I knew it had a bigger meaning. But talk me through it.
So bloody hell. So that club means the world to me. Right. So I left music. I was burnt out.
Why did you leave music?
Right. I was.
And what did burnout look like?
Right. Burnout looked like this. When I talked about the disrespect of what we built in the early days and what I did with a lot of when no one gave a shit about UK urban music, apart from Darren at Channel U and Kat and a few others, when no one gave a shit and I did, I nailed my chest to it. I had to pivot. So like I looked after like the acts like Mindless Behaviour, 2 Chainz, and Run-DMC, which were legendary acts. But I had to pivot away from it a bit because we weren't doing so well. But then I had Section Boys and what have you. And I remember, I'm not going to say the name of the person. He does like YouTube and stuff now, right? But he was a manager at the time, and Colin Basta, Uncle Colin, got loads of respect to Colin, and he calls me uncle as well. Like, we did that sort of relationship. Wow, I love what EGA had done. Like, I love it. Like,
me too.
Standing in the wings and watching that build whilst I was away. Like I remember being in small little offices with Colin, like in the early Devlin days, right? Because I really wanted to rep Devlin. It's the one act that I haven't repped that I really wanted to rep. Yeah. Love Devlin.
I can see that.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And never got the chance to. And it's the biggest regret that I never, because I wrote a great plan for him as well. Great plan. But it never happened. It is what it is. But always got a lot of respect for Colin. And he gave me this number, this manager. I messaged him, it's Billy Woods, looked up, and he went, I don't care who you are. I'm doing this and this is what I'm doing, so I don't need to speak to you. And I felt so disrespected. And I thought to myself, if this is where is this where my passion is, like my passion is in UK urban music. I hate the word urban, but like giving it a bit more of a wider context. If this is where it's going, are these the managers I want to deal with? Are these the people that I really? Is this it was the moment of the bedroom manager, right? Yeah. And there were some great bedroom managers that have ended up being great. Toby and Stormzy. Yeah. And if it weren't for Toby, I wouldn't have Section Boys. Yeah. So whatever reason, me and Stormzy didn't end up working together. Toby was like, I've got you another act, and I'm gonna bring him to you in your office. And he walked him into my office, and we had great moments with Section Boys. And so he's a great example of a good side of that. And there's so many bad examples. There's so many mismanaged financially artists, especially from UK black culture, because they think they trust these people, but you need expertise. And for at the time, 14 years of was it 14? 12 years actually at the time. 12 years of maybe a bit more. It's 20 this year, maybe a bit more. But for my history, and people used to say it to me. People used to come into my office, like I looked after 3 Shots to Tequila when I would start branching into podcasts, and they went, "Oh yeah, we used to always see your name on everyone's Twitter bio, like bookings, like B Wood at WME Entertainment." Yeah, and it was like a bit of a thing. Like if you had Billy Wood, it was a badge of honor. When they told me that, I was like, "Oh wow," it's kind of like humbling. But when you get the flip side of that, and you've got these people not giving a shit, you kind of wonder why you're doing it.
That comment was personal, like I don't care about you. Or I just don't care about what you're doing.
I'm too big for you. I do what I like. My eyes are blown up. I can do what I want.
Okay.
I'm like, right, okay, that's fine. And you probably did, and you didn't need me, but actually you're not a manager anymore. So, and there's reasons why you're not a manager anymore. So that's up to you. But yeah, I just kind of looked at it and was like, all right, cool. And that wasn't the moment where I dipped out. I dipped out because I left WME. I went to UTA. And I went to UTA because of one person. That one person left and went to Coda, or whatever it's called at the time. I think it was still called Coda at the time. So they left, and I was left in an office, felt really disrespected by UTA. So I'm an agent that had an arena, a festival headliner act in Run-DMC, and I get put on a debt. Like, I'm not an ego person, right? But I like my own office because I like my own space to think. I go there after having an office at WME for however many years, so many years, and I go there and I'm sitting next to the interns. Me and my assistant are sitting next to the interns. So we've got these, like, we're having to like we're looking after all these interns, right? And I was like, what? What is? They didn't give me an office. And I'm thinking, but I've got acts going in 6 figures on festival. I've got Run-DMC headline in Isle of Wight, and I'm sitting out here with someone who's just been upgraded from assistant. I'm like, it's not necessarily about me, not necessarily about trying to be the ego guy, because I'm a man of the people. Like, I'll sit and talk to anyone and everyone, but it's more so people walking into the office for meetings, and the first person they saw was me sitting out there, and they're like, huh? And it was a bit of a weird shock factor.
Was they sending you a signal?
I don't think I fitted. So I went in there. I was probably a US hire to start with, which didn't help.
Yeah.
But and they were culturally different from the US to the UK, and I wanted to kind of change like signing meetings, get people to like submit like their so we could see them on the screen, listen to them, song, everyone, right? And I wanted to kind of get like, so I was asked to like allowed to lead the meeting, the agent meeting, which again I'm the guy sitting out in the front. So I don't know. I just don't think I meshed well there. I met a lot of good friends there. One, BK Ben, who unfortunately passed away at a very young age to cancer as well in COVID. Sad times. Horrible, in fact. He actually joined me at CAA, my next journey, and I gave him a good reference for that as well. But I just didn't fit. I didn't fit there. And I didn't want to be there. And as the time kept going, I started getting in the office later, leaving at 2:00 in the afternoon. I didn't want to be there. Yeah. I just didn't have any passion.
Who was the mentor that was there and then left?
Wasn't really a mentor, but he's
who did you come for and then?
Yeah, his name's Jeff. Jeff Mule. He is he's a big football fan as well, so he used to banter about football. But he left and went to Coda, and we were from different genres. He was more of a rock guy, but when I met him, so I met them and I met with Coda about where I was going to go next. I met with Tom Schroeder and those guys and had a good meeting, because one of my biggest mentors, Solomon Parker, Coda's obviously been in transition from Paradigm to Wasserman to the team, right? But he's been there. He left WME and went there. So like, I wanted to go and join my mentor really in soul, but I liked it. I felt like I had a bit of an opportunity to make a difference at a company. Yeah. But I never got that chance to make a difference, and then I just couldn't get my mojo back. I couldn't get like what got me to the dance. And then when my contract was coming up for renewal, I didn't want to stay there. I'd done everything I could for them to kind of throw me out of the building, right? And I got put on gardening leave, and Mike Greek and Emma Banks, CAA, met with me, and I'm super fortunate they offered me a job there.
What did football give you that music couldn't at that point?
Buzz. The buzz. So when I went to CAA, and we'll talk about music and football, because I think it's a big part of what happened afterwards. But when I went to CAA again, I just couldn't get going in the same way. I felt like I did them a bit of a disservice, because they're great people. And I made, again, some lifelong friends there, agents, whether that's Nigel Hassler, Paul Franklin, both legends at what they do, who kind of warmed to me and I warmed to them. Neil, who's one of the commercial agents there, and I warmed to a lot of people at that place, and Anthony Brown and a few others, but I just couldn't get going. It sounds really sad, but when I left WME, think I didn't die, but I felt so connected to a brand, and I left for the right reasons, because I felt the company was changing in a way that I didn't think I could deliver the same me. But I was so connected to all my socials, even my PS4 or 3 or 2, whatever it was at the time tag, is Billywood WME. It still is to this day, Billywood WME. I was so connected to William Morris Endeavour. Like it was part of my DNA that I just don't think I recovered from it.
How did the end of WME happen?
They were going into a territorial system was happening where you looked after, so you had your acts, but most of the acts filtered into a territorial system. So in the UK, we were broken into like UK. Someone did the UK, someone did like France, Germany, Switzerland, and that. Someone did like Spain, Portugal. Someone did the Vatican City. Like, why the hell would anyone have the Vatican City on their thing? But they did. And I had the Middle East, which was meant to be the money territory. But really, I became a war correspondent because I was looking after Turkey, Israel, all the Middle Eastern territories. And every Thursday, we'd have an international meeting. And I felt like we all felt like naughty school. I'm pulling the curtain back here a bit, but we all felt like naughty schoolboys. So every Thursday, like, right, shit, have you got festival offers from anyone? Do you know, like, who you spoke to in your region? Like, and you would spend your whole Thursday, rather than being an agent,
prepping to not
collating information to give into this meeting, to be kind of disrespected in the meeting. Because whatever you brought to the table, one of the seniors would know something and then like, well, I spoke to that person and they said, you haven't done it. Do you know what I mean? It's always like that. And I just thought, this isn't why I'm here. This isn't the company that I love. This isn't the WME that when I walked into the door, when we won Brit Awards with Tinie, and I started signing other big acts, and then signed Run-DMC, and went on to a bit of a journey, and then, you know, even Tinchy, and when I even like an act that's completely out my realm, Blue, like when Blue came back, I signed Blue. I was told at the time by an agent, so I said, I'm going to get them into arenas, and he went, yeah, cleaning arenas. So I took that as a bit of a, right, here we go. We made £1 million in a year because I was like, nah, like I'm going to do this the right way. And I did it the right way and really built that band. Now, I don't work with that band now, obviously, but I'm sure the manager and the boys will say that I came up with a strategy live and delivered on that for them. And we did £1 million in a year. So that's who I was. And I called Mark Geiger up one day and I said, Mark, this ain't working for me. I think I want to go out on my own. And he went, I understand that. He said, I actually think you're right. I said, maybe this model of what we're going into territory isn't for you. And I'm going to support you in that. And WME didn't, because I had a long time left in my contract. I think I had another 2 years left in my deal. He was like, you are one of us. We're going to look after you. And we're not going to let you walk out the door with nothing. I was ready to walk out of nothing. Not going to let you walk out of nothing. So you can take your acts. You can we'll do it the right. They treated me with such respect. Even in the meeting, I was allowed to tell the whole of the company across the world that I'm leaving. I got a round of applause from everyone for doing it my way. Because I went and set my own agency up. I had to anyway. I couldn't go to a rival, right? There was obviously things. But I went and set my own little thing up for a bit, and then I went to UTA, and I'm glad I did that because I needed to get away from that. But I love WME, and I still do to this day. And look, they're getting hit left, right, and centre. The agents are leaving a lot at the moment, and the kind of the model now is obviously we brought the UFC when I was there, IMG. Obviously now they brought WWE. They have TKO as a business set up. They're more of a content creator business now than a music agency. But yeah, I had a massive fondness for them, and I never ever can forget my time there because it's the biggest factor in my success. Even in football. Can you tell
me what the highlight was in your football period?
Yeah.
And then tell me more about the business you have now.
So in football, taking Hastings United from 200 people, well actually it was 300 people watching, to an average crowd of 1,200, getting 3,000 through the gate, breaking the all-time attendance record, league attendance record for the club. That stood for 15, maybe 20 years actually. When AFC Wimbledon were coming through, AFC Wimbledon would take like 1,000 people to every away game, because they're Wimbledon, right? Crazy game. So I broke that record three times in a season. But we ended up 3,000, winning the league, creating a women's team, winning the league for the women's team, actually managing the women's team as well myself, winning that league, having success in that field. Creating an academy, sold 5 players to Football League clubs. Ben Ward, who's now at Reading, I sold to Burnley, who were in the Premier League at the time. Adam Lovett went to Sutton. David Radari to Crawley. Jack Bates to Derby. There's a bunch of them that went on and done well. But creating something the community could be proud of. I gave up music. I earned no money being in football. I lost a lot of money. Put me in some dark times. I'm going to be completely frank. It was a lot tighter than when I was on 6 figures at CAA and 6 figures at UTA and 6 figures at WME. But I did it because I believed I was going to build this new stadium, and I really did. And I got screwed at the end by the council. Me and my partners got screwed, and it didn't happen. But my proudest moment is delivering like that picture. Like me, my daughter, my net is a great picture of my nephew, me with a bottle of champagne, my nephew kind of like, celebrating. But delivering that, I posted it on my Instagram story yesterday. Actually, someone sent a video of when we won the league, and there's me running onto the pitch and celebrating, and then all the fans kind of I actually had my own song, and they would sing my song, and that was proud. Like walking into my local supermarket, or going to get petrol, or going to your local pub, and people going, "Well done, Bill. Hastings. Look at what you've done with Hastings." Massively proud of that. I'm helping the club again. I'm back at the club. I did leave, but I'm back there now as an advisory, like a head of football advisory role. And they've had a bad couple of years since I left, and it's not just me; it's circumstance. And I want to help them get back as a volunteer, not as a full-time role again. I ain't got that energy. Yeah. I lost a lot of hair in football. I lost more hair in football than I did in music.
That's interesting.
Yeah, building those gates and seeing everyone walking around the town in the kit that I designed, or the rucksack was their part of the academy, and that for me, seeing the impact that what you can do in a community was massive.
And what are you building now?
Building a new house, right? House 23. For over the years, I've always flirted with. I've missed it. I love music. I absolutely love this industry, but I needed to go when I went. But I've come back, and I'm going to be a problem, Marv, because I'm turning 40 next Friday. So whenever this comes out, I might already be 40. But I'm turning 40, and I feel like I've got a midlife crisis on the go. I still feel that 21-year-old energy. I feel that energy of the Channel U days of trying to break acts. And I look at the industry, and I speak to people, and people go, "It's not the same." And I go, "No, it ain't the same." Because I don't see as many people with heart now as I did back then. I don't see people breaking down barriers as much as they did back then. And I've still got that inside me, right? So I'm signing clients, both from brand new acts and established acts. And I'm going to go out there and hustle like no other agent can. And we're going to build House 23 into something valuable. And what I mean, I'm not looking to build an agency to then sell to Live Nation or anything like that. I don't know where my final journey will be. I hope it, could it be at one of the corporates again? You just never say never, right? But with House, I've got great partners who have trust and belief in me. And I owe it to them to give them everything into this project. Like I say, I have that enthusiasm. Like I can feel like I went to my first gig back for an artist I represent a guy called Liam C. And we sold out like no one expected him to. He's previously, let's say he was with Agent Wise, but done a couple of London shows, nothing else. I've booked nearly 40 shows for him this year. Jeez. So we've sold out a regional tour. No one expected him to sell tickets. He's done 120, 150 tickets, all regionally in like places like Derby, Norwich, Brighton, like everywhere. And all singing his lyrics back, and he's obviously got a real fan base. Doing a bunch of festivals in the summer. We'll go and do some bigger rooms later in the year, and I've built a real plot for him. Whether it's him, Abube, who's signed to Lion Bear, that's real R&B for me, soul, someone like him, or whether it is working with an Angel, who's an absolute maverick and underrated and probably deserves his flowers now, or working with The Game or or Scorcher. A bunch of things like mindless behaviour. We're doing that again. My roster is really diverse, and I'm working with a lot of people that want to work with me. But I am signing new clients too. I don't want to sign too many because I won't deliver. But we're out there right now. I thought it was going to be Tumbleweed when I come back. When Music Week said they're going to do a piece on it, I thought, who gives a shit about Billywood? I've been away for nearly 5 years. This industry changes quick. People change quick. Jobs change quick. People that I thought were at WME are now at CAA. People that I thought were at CAA are now at Wesselman. The people at Live Nation are at AEG. AEG now got their own company or just retired. Everyone's moved around. So why would anyone care about me? It goes out. My phone does not stop. Bam, 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 bam. Wow. Then I get picked up by like a few American outlets and stuff, and goes crazy on like roster CC, and then like my company's like #2 trending of the week on their site. I then go to LA, have unbelievable meetings out in LA. Then go to ILMC and I meet with about 150 promoters there, and it's just been non-stop. We've booked probably 100 shows already as a company this year, if not more. We will do a significant for me, but we will do a significant 7-figure gross this year as a first-year company, which is crazy. And that was never the plan. The plan was to kind of come back and feel it out and build slowly. But I've had to be 100 miles per hour. I am 100 miles per hour. I probably could tell in this interview. I don't stop. I don't sleep. That's why I got bags. My biggest thing I used to tell people, the reason I got these bags under my eyes is because I don't sleep, because I can't help myself. I'll take a client call at midnight. I did. One client I've just signed wanted to speak to me at 7 p.m. on a Friday. I said, yeah, sure. Like, you sure? Yeah. Got to about 10:30. Oh, are you available now? Yeah. Bam, let's jump on. Wow, you want to jump on at 10:30 at night? Yeah, let's do it. Next day, they've messaged me at 5 to midnight. Oh, yeah, can we set up a Zoom call next week? Message me tomorrow. Message them at 12. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Wow, you messaged me at midnight on a Saturday. It's like, yeah, because if I'm not sleeping, like I think I said off camera, if someone messages me, I'm not trying to play it cool. It's not a relationship. I'm not trying to date an artist, right? It's like, or even if I was, I don't think I'm cool enough now. I'm hitting this age. I think you lose the fear of rejection, right? I don't have any fear of rejection. So if someone messages me, I don't sit there and think, oh, well, I better wait until I message them back. Bam, I'm messaging. And I think that's both in career and in life, right? Life's too short. What happens if I don't respond to that message and something happened to that person, God forbid, they got hit by a bus or whatever, or died, because we'll get into a point where maybe our hearts are a little bit pushed, right? But, like, I always look at it like that. Like, life's too short. We're not here for a long time. Like, we're here for a good time. And when I look at my career to this day, it's been great, but it's got like, this is the chapter for me. This is like my redemption chapter, and I'm gonna deliver. This ain't me doing it for a year, dip him out. This is me. I was 19, I become a music agent. It's all I've really known. I've had fun in football, done a bit, got offered some big jobs in football, got offered a job by a League One club, which I turned down because the contract weren't right. But deep down in my heart, I'm a music agent. It's what I've always been. It's like certain people leave college or leave like school and they're a scaffy or they're an electrician or whatever. I am a music agent. What that means, leading a team or just being out on my own, I am a music agent. And I'm back for it all. Yeah.
I am a music agent.
I am a music agent.
Benny,
my man,
you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you having me on.